Saskia, welcome. I'm not sure that you can speak in there right now, but if you'd like to chat through the chat line of the Q&A, that'd be cool. Hopefully you won't be the only. Let's see what's happening. I'm waiting for Kerry to join and delegates. I look forward to chatting with you today. And we'll probably build a little bit on what can you hear me? That's cool. Good to see you too, even if it is just your because it's a webinar, I can't right now. Yes. Nice to see you in the chat line already. You'll find that today we'll do Friday and next Friday and Friday after that. That's the plans come. Kerry?
Hi, John. I'm beginning to hear you.
Beginning to hear me. Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Better. Okay. I see Colin has joined us. Hi, Colin. It is a webinar, so only Kerry and I can talk to you. Please make use of the chat line. I am watching the chat line as we're chatting. So if you say something, that would be so cool.
Your sound is dropping again.
Sound is dropping again. All right. So I must keep my volume up, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Okay. You like that? See if I can. We've still got 7 minutes to go before we officially start. So let's see who else is going to join us. Did I call Quibus Colin? That was clever. Sorry, Quibus. Not only am I not speaking loudly enough, I'm not reading properly. Just a little scary. Yeah, we've got 7 minutes to go. I'm going to mute for a bit and switch my camera off for a bit and just keep an eye. Welcome people as they come in. Ian, welcome all the way from Uganda. Good to hear you. Oh, good to see you, I should say. Unfortunately, you can't speak to me now because it is a webinar, but welcome anyway. And Hulisani, welcome to you also. And I hope to chat with you after the call. And is it Rachel? Rachel, welcome. I will be putting cameras on in a second. Please make use of the chat line. So welcome to our first session, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another 4 minutes to go. So I just want to see everybody else come in and we'll get cracking. Welcome back, Corvus. Good to see you. Hi, Martin. Welcome. We've got 3 minutes to go. So if you'll all just hang in there for a bit, we'll start exactly at 12:30. Hi, Aileen. Welcome. Another 2 minutes to go, and then we'll get cracking. Please hang in there. Michelle, did I miss you out? I'm sorry. Welcome. And is it Roxanne? Hi, Roxanne. Welcome to the session. We'll start in slightly less than a minute. Thank you for joining us. Well, there we are, 12:30. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on our first alumni webinar. It is for us, as much as it is for you, a little bit of an experimentation. So please bear with us if we're a little slow on stuff. I'd just like to reaffirm what the Alumni Series is about. It's a monthly, for want of a word, webinar on subjects that would be interesting to sales people and sales management. Please feel free to invite your friends, your colleagues, your management to join us. We will be asking folks to offer us topics that are of interest to them. The intent of obviously is to be like doctors and lawyers. We need to keep learning. Hi, Monique. Welcome. And we want to keep learning and we want to keep professionalizing so that we can be treated like doctors and lawyers. And of course, these things are free. So yeah, please invite your friends. The rules of the game are fairly simple. You can't talk to us, unfortunately, but I will be monitoring the chat line, and the comments and questions are welcomed. In fact, Kerry's going to be asking questions as well, so I look forward to your feedback on that. Kerry's chat actually lasts for about 60 minutes. So there's plenty of time for us to talk, and there will be questions asked. Can everybody still hear me? And then I need to talk to you about Kerry. We're very proud to have Kerry as part of the Sales Institute. She's a positive psychology practitioner. She's a coach and a trainer. Kerry is passionate about elevating performance through learning. This enables her to help our clients navigate their personal and their professional challenges with confidence and clarity. She believes in the power of emotional intelligence, communication skills, and other soft skills that are essential for effective teamwork and sales success. At the Sales Institute, she delivers expert training in the latest sales methods, latest concepts, and strategies, as well as soft skills training designed to equip sales teams with the foundation of their potential. She works with clients across various industries and sectors, tailoring her approach to their specific needs and their goals. She also provides individual and group coaching sessions using NLP, and that's, what does NLP stand for, Kerry, again?
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Thank you so much. To help clients overcome their limiting beliefs, help them develop positive habits, and achieve their desired outcomes. She enjoys working with a diverse and dynamic team of trainers and coaches who share her vision of empowering sales professionals with the skills and tools they need to thrive. And we're very proud to have Kerry presenting our first webinar. And with that, I'm actually going to hand over to Kerry and put the ball in her court. Kerry, you're up.
Thank you, John. Really appreciate it. I just want to share my screen quickly or my slide. Let's see if we can all see what's going on. Is it coming through, John, or not?
Say again, I'm not seeing anything yet, Kerry.
Okay, let's try. Here we go.
There we go, we're up.
Awesome.
I'm going to switch off my camera now and my mic, but I will.
Thank you. Right, good afternoon, everyone. As you all know, my name is Kerry Tintinger from the Sales Institute, and today I will be exploring the topic of how to have a mindset of champion in sales. Let's get started by exploring what it means to have a champion mindset, as it's not merely about winning trophies and achieving fame. It is a state characterized by resilience, determination, focus, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. Sales champions will understand that success is not an overnight phenomenon, but a journey of yourself steered by determination and discipline. Champions thrive on continuous growth and learning. They view setbacks as failures, they view setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to learn, grow, and evolve. The champion sees challenges as stepping stones to greatness rather than obstacles. Mental toughness is the cornerstone of the champion mindset. It is about staying composed under pressure, bouncing back from defeats, and maintaining focus amidst distractions. They dare to dream big and set goals that push the boundaries of their potential and know that greatness lies beyond the comfort zone, and are willing to embrace discomfort in pursuit of achieving their goals and striving for excellence. So what does this all mean? And how do we do this? EI for sales. I'm a very strong believer of emotional intelligence, as you'll get through this webinar. For me, it is the most important part of sales, because if you don't have your whole being of who you are and what you're expecting from your customer, you really don't know what to do and what to sell and how to go about it. So it's all about knowing yourself, being aware of yourself, creating that relationship with your customer. So to integrate emotional intelligence into your daily sales activities, you take control of disruptive emotions and you'll be able to improve your sales performance. Understand yourself and understand your customer. What influences sales performance? Firstly, what would you consider as two important concepts of being successful in sales? Anyone care to put it in the chat? Okay, so let me tell you. 1, sales training. 2, emotional intelligence. The reality is, salespeople with high intrapersonal and interpersonal ER consistently outperform their peers, while salespeople with low ER often sabotage themselves and underperform. A key component of having the mindset of a champion is knowing and being aware of your ER, specifically fear. And awareness of our ER allows us to have conversations with prospective buyers. Poor sales performance is not just about hard skill. It's often linked to the inability to manage your emotions so that you can think clearly and effectively. This is the gap between knowing and doing. One of the core skills of ER is being able to recognize your hot buttons, your triggers. These are the things that people say and do, or events that create strong emotional responses. One of my triggers is being dismissed before I finish speaking or being spoken over. It creates an emotion of self-doubt, and my self-confidence takes a knock. Have any of you felt the same? How do you deal with that sudden feeling of self-doubt? Being aware of this happening will put you on the front foot of being adaptable and dealing with the situation before the self-doubt comes to play. We need to learn different coping strategies that allow us to be flexible in the way that we think about things and situations that can occur. One good way is to visualize how your meeting with prospective buyers is going to happen. I've done that in the past. In fact, it's been a common thing of mine is now on my way to go see my client, especially if it's in person, I visualize how this meeting is going to go. And in fact, yesterday I went to a very intense meeting with a prospective client who I knew was going to be quite difficult, being the fact that he is a German male, and nothing against Germans because I'm part German myself. But I just, from the telephone calls that I'd had with him, he sounded very difficult, and he was very difficult. I got there, offered me something to drink in the boardroom, and then straight away started into his presentation. It was almost like he was selling his company to me, and I was not there to sell my company to him. So it was very disruptive. But in terms of that, on the way there, visualizing that this is how it was going to go, how I was going to be kind of stuck with him forcing his visions and the way he wanted things to flow upon me, I was able to say to him that we needed to more together as a team to get to where he wanted to be, and it wasn't just about him and what his business needed. It was about what both our businesses needed and joining hands and going forward with that. And at the end of it, he actually appreciated it. He felt that, he said to me that he felt that I was able to kind of change his view on what he wanted to do with his clients moving forward. So at the end of it, it was a very good outcome for both of us, which I was very happy with. And yeah, we're going to see where we can go forward with it. But let's get back to how you can visualize. If you can visualize the outcome, you're already halfway there to getting the sale. Fear of failure is one of our biggest downfalls in the sales industry. We question ourselves if we are doing the right things and how can we do better. One of the ways is just by doing and not thinking about it too much. The moment we start overanalyzing, we start making excuses, and then avoidance comes into play. And all of us do it, whether it's in our work life, personal life. We all tend to avoid and make excuses. I don't know if anyone here can honestly put up their hand and say, I do not make excuses, I do not avoid things, because we overanalyze and we're always wondering about what is the outcome going to be. We don't look at it realistically and think, okay, this is my outcome. How do I want to get there? Let me take productive steps to get to that outcome. Instead, what we do is we go to our outcome, we know what the outcome is going to be, and then we overanalyze every single little step along the way, and then the excuses come in. But I can't do this because I don't have that. I don't have that, so that can't be done. I don't know this product well enough, so I can't sell it. Who here does that? I do. I've done it before in the past, and I do still continue to do it today. It's a very difficult thing to overcome, but it's that mindset of doing. If I just do it, what is the outcome going to be? And you'll actually find that the outcome is exactly what you wanted because you didn't overanalyze it and you didn't come up with the excuses and you didn't come up with the avoidance techniques. So the knowing doing gap. The knowing doing gap is the disconnection between knowledge and action. Sometimes training is not enough. People know what to do, but their emotions limit them from implementing them. Stress can cause a physiological response that leads to fight or flight. Who's ever had that fight or flight moment? Anyone care to share with us or tell me about their fight or flight moments? Okay, someone said they've had their fight or flight moment.
You know that feeling in the pit of your stomach, Kerry, hey?
Yes, actually, John, with me, it hits me in my chest. And it kind of like just makes me feel so, what do I do? Do I just leave or do I fight? And with me, personally, I fly. I don't just flight, I fly out of there. I'm not one for negative interaction, as you know.
Yes.
Like the positivity of people, and I always try and portray people being positive. And let's look at what you feel is negative and how do we turn it into positive. And that's why I'm a positive psychology coach. It's yeah, but we won't delve on that too much. So I will keep you out all day if I get into that.
Okay, Kerry, let's move.
Okay, rather than responding to a situation in a positive way, bridging the gap requires self-awareness and self-management, as well as practicing new skills and behaviors, enough for them to land in the long-term memory. Some people call it a habit. And yes, we can call it a habit, but it's also a stage of getting that your brain to realize that if we practice things in a more positive way and have positive outcomes, the brain starts looking for them. We start looking for them as a person. So knowing is you need a change. You get the incorrect assumptions and the fear of failure. But if you go over it and you just do, you get that successful shift. I just want to share with you quickly a few things that I've picked up over the last couple of years while doing this, that we all need to have respect for the other person's model of the world. They are all unique and experience the world in different ways. Everyone is an individual and has their own special way of being. And we need to take that into consideration when we're dealing with people, because it's not easy. It's hard out there, it's tough out there. But we need to take people and what they're going through into consideration. Just a quick snippet. Right, John Wooden, one of the most successful coaches of all time. He won 10 NCAA championships in a 12-year span while coaching at UCLA. Wooden coached his players on basketball skills and motion management skills. In his book, Wooden on Leadership, he said he stressed to his team that losing your temper will get us outplayed because you will make necessary errors. Your judgment will be impaired. Manage your emotions or they will manage you, he warns. His advice is applicable to sales professionals and sales teams as it is for basketball players. Does anyone agree with me? If you don't manage your emotions, they're going to manage you. It's very, very simple, guys and girls, ladies. I have a tattoo on my arm. I don't know if you can all see it. It says nothing to prove. I got this tattoo, and I'm quite personal, but I'm willing to share because I think people learn by shared experiences. Where in my life, nothing was going wrong, so I believed. Everything was a failure. myself as a person. I felt like a disappointment to my children. I felt like a disappointment to my husband. And it was just going pear-shaped. It was very hard. It was very difficult. But after realizing that I was a person and that I had a voice, I started to recognize what emotions I was feeling and how to deal with them. And the prove part means to pause, recognize, own it, and validate that emotion. So all in all, it was, is that emotion serving me? Is it serving me to be angry? How's it affecting my immediate environment? What is it doing to the people that I care and love about? If I'm frustrated, what does it do to everybody else around me? If I go into a business meeting angry and frustrated, do you really think I'm going to walk away feeling satisfied? No, I'm not. I'm going to walk away feeling more frustrated and more judgmental and critical upon myself because I didn't get the deal. But why didn't I get it? Because I wasn't managing my emotions. I was letting my emotions flow. And that was overcoming onto my prospective buyer or my prospective clients. So all in all, I had to kind of really delve deep within myself and look at who I was as a person and what did I want my life to be going further. And looking in the future, saying, well, do I really want to be a disappointment to my children? Do I really want to be a disappointment to my husband? What did I want out of my life? And when I realized that, and I found my voice, it was almost like, okay, I'm angry. Why am I angry? That's why I'm angry. But is it helping me? Is it serving me? Is it worth carrying that with me for the rest of the day? No, it's not. Let it go. Push on, get through it. We all say, build a bridge. It's not that easy to build a bridge. It really isn't. But once you get into the habit of doing it, it becomes easier. It never becomes just easy. It just becomes easier to be able to push that emotion to where it doesn't belong. And it doesn't belong on your shoulders all day. That is one of the ways that we can deal with it. So if anyone wants to use my nothing to prove to get through a bad day or whatever it is, you're more than welcome. Just remember to pause, reflect, own, and validate that emotion. Right, moving on after my little tidbit of information. Understanding emotional intelligence and how to apply it. You pay attention to your emotions and the emotions of those around you while naming or labeling these correctly, and use the emotional information gathered from this exercise to respond appropriately. You recognize it, you discern, and you manage. People find it very difficult to manage emotions because they let them overflow. Emotions affect our mindset. In terms of if you have a angry emotion, how does that set your mindset for the day ahead? You're internally angry. And one person says one thing to you and you snap. Was it necessary? But probably not. Some people think it was, but it wasn't. It's just because you're not managing where you are and what you're doing at that time. It's almost like when you get home from work, you're tired, you're exhausted, all you want to do is sit down, have a cup of tea, glass of wine, a beer, whatever it is, whiskey, who knows. You just want to enjoy that peaceful time, and you kids come running in, Mom, Dad, you home. Blah, 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 blah. It happened today. Look what happened at school. Blah, 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 blah. And next thing you're snapping at them. Why? Not their fault. Not their fault that you had a bad day at work. It's not anybody else's fault. But you've been carrying that with you the whole way home, and they're the first ones that get it when you get home. And realistically, that's not right, and it's not fair. Almost like on your way home, you've got to debrief yourself from your work day. And know that you don't know to your home life. Give your kids that hour, 2 hours that they need. And if you need to carry on working, carry on afterwards. That's what it's about. It's no need for us to take our emotions out on other people and create that mindset within others about them criticizing us and being judgmental, because we are all judgmental. We do tend to judge ourselves harshly, and that's also, it's not right. And the minute we start judging ourselves, we look out there and we see all the other people that need to be judged. And what is the point? Does it make us feel better? No, it doesn't. But because we're in that state of mind, because we're so used to judging ourselves, we tend to judge everybody else. Either it's the way they spoke to us, what they said, how they said it, and everything else. So, yeah, it's all about just how to apply that emotional intelligence into your daily life and recognizing what emotion you're feeling. What are the components of emotional intelligence? Self-awareness, self-management, interpersonal skills, and empathy. And what is what? What is self-awareness? How well do you know yourself? Are you capable of describing who you are while acknowledging the internal and external experiences you go through? Jean spoke to me earlier, just now actually, said it's that feeling you get in the pit of your stomach. When you think about yourself, where do you feel it? Where do you in your body feel what you feel? I feel it in my chest. And it can sometimes feel like I'm having a heart attack. That's how bad it is. But I've learned a very good technique that was taught to me many years ago of taking that pain, and it sounds silly, and I train this to everybody. And everyone really enjoys it. You actually take that pain, you put it in your hand, you take it out of your body, you put it in your hand, and you name it. You name that pain. What is it? And once you've given it a name and you've recognized it, you let it go. You don't need to hold on to it. And that's exactly what it is with our mindset and our emotions. We don't need to hold on to them for the whole day. And through our lives, it's just not necessary. How to improve your self-awareness? Observe yourself. The first thing you will need to do is become a neutral observer of yourself and your life. Being neutral means not judging yourself while you're doing this observation. Take notes about things that happen in your life, the emotions you are feeling, and the thoughts you are thinking. Who here journals? Me. I do. I journal. Why? Why do I journal? Because it allows me to put my feelings and emotions out without taking them out on anybody else, especially when I'm angry and frustrated. I'm not perfect.
Sorry, Kerry, can I interrupt you for a second there?
Yes, John.
Could you elaborate on journaling, what it means, what it looks like, and how you would go about it?
Okay, let me just grab the book quickly. Everyone thinks that we need to be special, or that we need something special. For me, it's a book. That's all it is. It's a book. And how I journal, sorry, I don't have my journal with me. It's actually next to my bed because I journal at night. How I journal is I open up my book, go to a clean page, put the date, and I write about how I'm feeling. It's as simple as that. There's no complicated method to it. It's just putting your feelings onto paper. And the minute that we do that, we start feeling better about who we are. And it kind of comes out. It's almost like me having an argument with my husband on paper. It's not me getting into fight mode because he's irritated me with something. I will go and journal about it, and then I calm down, and then I can come back and talk to him, not shout at him and get angrier and angrier and angrier because
Kerry, do you also find that by going back into your journal from time to time, it gives you a different perspective of where you are? So you
yes,
don't find yourself saying, I'm always unhappy?
yes, I do. I read my journal every Sunday night. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a habit freak. I do read my journal every Sunday night just to kind of give me perspective of where I've been that week and maybe look at a few changes and what my triggers are, and how to deal with them going forward. I find that really, really helps in kind of getting your head around how you've been feeling that whole week. And it really does work. So if anybody wants to start journaling, please guys, it's simply a book and a pen or a pencil and start writing. And you know what? It doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be a story. It's sometimes just a few sentences. I'm feeling like this today because so and so happened. And it really, yeah, it's not something that you need to hold on to and carry with you for the rest of our time that we have. It's something that we can actually just put on paper, or if you want to do it on your computer, you can, in your notes or Word or wherever you want to do it. It's entirely up to you. I do it in a book because I enjoy writing. And that's how I mean, some of my pages, when I'm angry, I've actually written right through the page onto the next page. So it's because I need to get my anger out. And that's one way I find it. I don't do kickboxing and boxing and the rest of it. I also ride. I ride my bike, my mountain bike. And yeah, sometimes I've made stupid errors and fallen off without actually realizing what I'm doing, but that's because I let my emotions come over me. Okay, so getting back to this, you set aside time for introspection. The soul searching that will happen at the end of the day will be your opportunity to identify why you have acted as you did during the day. There's always a reason and a root cause for anything that happens under the sun. If you are able to identify the root cause for all your thoughts and emotions, you are well on your way to becoming more self-aware. You can get feedback from friends and colleagues. Ask your close friends to describe you in the most honest, non-hurtful way that they can. This informal feedback will give you insights on how you come across and how you relate to others. The feedback you receive at your workplace can also be very useful in helping you become a self-aware person. When my previous years of working, before I joined the Sales Institute, I used to work for a company where I was given the role of a sales manager. I was fairly young and I quite honestly didn't know what I was doing. And this caused a lot of anxiety within myself. And I portrayed that anxiety onto other people, which made them nervous around me. And it was reported to HR that they felt uncomfortable around me due to me always picking on them or telling them that they didn't know what they were doing. But that stemmed from my anxiety. When I became aware of it, it was almost like this hit me in the face, kind of, what are you doing? What are you doing to other people around you because of the way that you're feeling? So it's things like that you start recognizing, and friends and colleagues can be a huge change in your life due to the fact that you are with them 8 hours of the day. And if not, then I mean, go to your family, ask them, what do they think of you? It's not that difficult, it's a question, but go with it with an open mind, because they might say something that's going to stir that painful feeling wherever it is that you feel. So it's just be very aware of the feedback that you might get, but don't judge it and don't be critical of it. Take it with openness and let that kind of instigate how you're going to change in your life, or make changes, or have a different mindset, or start feeling emotions that you want to feel, and good emotions, and turn the anger into happiness and frustration. Let's make that all turn around and not hold on to it. Bring a little bit of happiness into our lives. You can rewire your brain. You can help yourself experience emotions that are positive and beneficial to your human experience. By shifting your mindset also means aligning your feelings and thoughts with your value system. Who here knows what their values are? I do. I know what my values are, and I try and live to my highest value. Well, I don't try. I do live to my highest value. And
Could you give us some examples of values?
Values are, what is your financial value? Family and friends value, health and wealth, commitments, honesty, integrity. John, there's lists and lists and lists of values that we can do. And you always walk into, when I was into a business, into business premises, and they have this values list on their wall, our values as a company. And a lot of them it's honesty, integrity, work, what is it? Work
ethic?
Yes, sorry, thank you. So they have this list, and I've coached people in the past that have an issue with values because they don't know what their values are, and they're not living to their values. It's a very difficult thing because once you know what your values are, you kind of feel that everybody's values must be the same, and it's not like that. We're all individuals. We all have different values. But just bear in mind that you know what your values are, but expect other people to have a different value to you. My highest value is honesty. I really, really uphold to the honesty value because it's something that I've become very aware within my life. And it's not a train smash. If someone decides to not be honest with me, I can deal with it. It's almost knowing that, okay, so they're not living up to my value, and that's all right. That's okay. It doesn't mean that honesty is their highest value, and that I've just got to be aware of. Okay, so being clear about what you value as a person will lead to much needed paradigm shift that will be a big step towards self-awareness. So in other words, know your values, be aware of them, and that will create more self-awareness within yourself. Biggest one, be gentle on yourself. We are good at extending grace and forgiveness to others when they need it, but we're not so good at doing the same for ourselves. I'm not saying forgive and forget. What I'm saying is, if you do something that does not go towards your value, or you find difficult to actually accept, forgive yourself. It's okay. We all make mistakes. We're all human. That's all right. I've had to forgive myself for many, many things in my life, and I'm still here. So yeah, be gentle. Be gentle on yourselves. Because if we're not, and we're always hard and critical and judging ourselves, it becomes a little bit of an awkward world to live in.
Kerry, can I throw something into this?
You may, Jean.
It's a flippant comment, but if we don't do stupid stuff when we're young, we've got nothing to laugh about when we get older.
Very, very true. But then again, yes, you've got to forgive yourself for doing the stupid stuff because sometimes we made very big mistakes when we were young and stupid. And you kind of look back on it now and you think, oh my word, how did I actually do that? Why did I do it? My poor parents, what did I put them through? Yeah.
I used to be young and stupid. Now I'm just stupid.
Okay, let's turn that negative into a positive.
Misguided then. How's that?
Okay, when you arrive at this point, you must shed all judgments and resentment that you feel towards yourself and forgive yourself wholeheartedly. See it as the learning process. When I realized that I needed to forgive myself for certain things that I've done in my life, I found it very, very easy to put it on paper. In fact, I wrote myself a letter and listed all these things I needed to forgive myself. And doing this really helped me kind of get through valuing myself more. And then what I did was I took that letter and I burnt it. Because for me, that was almost like a relief of, okay, these are the things that I need to forgive myself for. I've now forgiven myself. And it wasn't a day's thing. I'm talking about months. This took me months to do. So it wasn't something that I decided that day. I'm going to sit down now and write a letter to myself and forgive myself. You're welcome to do that if that's what you feel is going to work for you. Same for me. I felt that it needed to be a process, and that's what it became, was a whole process. And burning the letter at the end was almost like the last thing that I needed to do to really reiterate how I had forgiven myself. With new awareness of your feelings and thoughts and a hard look at the value systems that influence you, you can now get started on beginning anew as a self-aware person. Being self-aware might seem and feel like a daunting process, but it's exactly what you need to become exactly who you were meant to be while forming meaningful and respectful relationships with those around you. Who's ever heard of the BS? Everyone thinks that we're talking about bull, but it's actually not. Your belief system. What is your belief system? Is it one that your learned habits, your learned kind of experiences? Because it stems from our grandparents to our parents, and all the way down the line, you can go further and further and further. And a lot of the time, self-awareness is put aside because of our BS, because we have learned these ways to handle things and to cope, and we're not really aware of what we should be doing as an individual person. So think about what your BS is and try and look at it differently. You can practice meditation and mindfulness. Mindfulness awareness is a term that is used to refer to the heightened consciousness that comes with you being in touch with your thoughts and emotions, sensations, experiences during every waking moment of your life. So I'm talking about sensations, that pain. When you think about yourself, what is the sensation in your body? Where is there pain? It might not be a pain. It might be an itch. It might be something else, but be aware of it. I want to say it's difficult to describe, but if you can get the gist of just having that sensation or that feeling somewhere in your body and being aware of that and turning it into kind of recognizing where it is, what it is, and what you're going through. Mindfulness allows you to be in control of your life. It means the difference between going through life and experiencing life. Who goes through life? I used to. I used to just go through life. I never experienced it. I've missed out on so many things in my life that if I just stopped and experienced it, I would have a lot more gratitude towards certain things and certain people that really kind of helped me through difficult times. And it's almost like just make that kind of awareness to yourself, or your promise to yourself that you're going to start experiencing life and not just going through life.
Kerry,
Yes, John.
is mindfulness another does it mean the same thing as when we're getting in our car and going on holiday?
Yeah.
If we use a car, it's all
Yeah.
about getting to Durban or getting to Cape Town or getting to Joburg.
Yeah.
And we miss all the cool stuff along the way, the museums, the little towns, the little villages, the meeting of the people in the petrol stations, the time we take to look around us while we're traveling.
It's almost like
another just to
saying,
mindfulness?
yeah, it's almost like stop and smell the roses. See what's going on around you.
Okay.
Being
Thank you.
aware of what else in life is there to experience. It's not just about getting your car and driving from Joburg to Durban because you want to get there in the quickest time. It's about actually maybe stopping along the way and experiencing different things. It's, yeah, just be mindful of your surroundings and what is going on with inside you as a person. Does that kind of answer you?
Thanks, Kerry.
Right. How do we manage our emotions? Self-management is knowing that while you might have impulses to do exciting things, it is always better to choose the option that is more aligned to your long-term goals. Self-management is a form of self-control that has a long-term perspective. There are two main types of self-management: behavioral and emotional. Let's look at these. Self-management is knowing that while you might have impulses to do exciting things, it is always better to choose the option that is more aligned to your long-term goals. Self-management is a form of self-control that is a long-term perspective. Okay, sorry, I am repeating myself, my error. Let's go to behavioral self-management. Behavioral self-management involves regulating your behavior and acting in a way that fulfills your best long-term interests. Emotional self-management allows you to rein in your emotions before they take control of you. You will not always be able to control how you feel about something, but you can control how you feel, how you handle those feelings. And that's where I was talking about earlier about validating that emotion. And is it serving you? Is that emotion serving you as a person? Is it serving your family members? Is it serving your friends? That's up to you to decide. I can't decide that for you, and I cannot tell you how to do it. It's something that you need to be aware of and feel inside of you. It is hard. Right. Motivate yourself. There are three important components to motivation. The activation of a process. This is a part where you decide that you need to get something done and thus take the first step. Persistence. This is a sign you're ready and committed for the long haul, regardless how tough the going gets. I'm going to take you back to my story, where I was not being the best mom and wife because of my own problems. And the minute I realized that I was in a long-term relationship with my husband, we've now been married 30, going on 34 years this year. So yeah, it's a long-term commitment. But the minute I realized when I was young and stupid, John, that I was in a commitment with him, we had 2 children, I was committed to my kids. It's almost like there was that long haul. It's something that hit me like a ton of bricks, and I kind of realized that I needed to do everything that I could in my power to keep this on the right road and help my kids and help my husband with what they needed. It was tough. I was a very self-centered person, and it was all about me because of my belief system. And a lot has changed since then. And a lot that I've realized that what I did wrong and apologizing and forgiving myself for those things. And the minute you find that that's what you've done, life becomes a little bit easier and not as tough. Okay, intensity. When you are determined to get something done, you will pursue it with all the energy that you can muster. You will not make excuses, and you will not cut corners or try to get yourself out of what you signed up for. When you are fueled from within, you are more likely to pursue the things that fulfill you and make you happy. How to boost your morale about life. Set yourself some goals that excite you. If there's a goal that you need to set that does not sound particularly exciting, figure out something about it that is of interest to you. I always say, when you have a goal, give yourself a reward. Break it down, break that goal down into little bite-sized goals. And when you've done one little goal, reward yourself. It makes sense. So you don't wait until the whole goal is finished, because you're never going to get to that end goal. If this is what you see in front of you, it's this big, massive kind of wall in front of you. Break that wall down into little pieces, sections at a time. When you've got to one thing, give yourself a reward, whatever it is. Go on holiday, go to the nail salon, go and have your hair done, buy a chocolate, have an evening with your friends, go on a date with your wife. Just do something that you're going to remember and you're going to look forward to. Because the minute that you get there, that reward is something that you should look forward to, and that gives you kind of the oomph and drive to get you to that little goal that is part of the bigger goal. Write your goals down so they look real. If possible, make a vision board. Written down goals are a constant reminder of the things you want to achieve at the end of a particular period. Put in place a reward system that allows you to give yourself a reward every time you hit a milestone in your goals. Guys, please do this. It works, I promise. It just makes that goal so much easier. And in sales, when you have a target, it can be very daunting. Break your target down. How many clients do you need to see? What products do you need to sell? How much revenue do I get from this? How do I make up that target that I need to achieve? That is something that we go through in our sales courses. Jean, if you've got any questions, I'm sure Jean will be able to answer those for you. Find someone to support you on your journey to achieve your goals. It might be your mentor, a trusted friend, a family member, or your favorite colleague. There's also one that's left off here, and I kind of realized it a little while ago, that it could be your sales manager. Your manager can be your support system. They're not always there to push you. They're also human. And they can help you. They've been through it. So think about that one as well. What is the importance of having a drive in sales? Desire. The starting point of all achievements, not a hope, not a wish, but a keen pulsating desire that transcends everything. Napoleon Hill. Optimism. This feeling of optimism helps you face adversity and keep going. Optimism powers a positive belief system that attracts positive energy. Around achievement, intense, prolonged, and repeated efforts to accomplish something difficult. To work with singleness and focus towards a high and distant goal. To have the determination to win. Henry Murray. Competitiveness. The drive to avoid losing is what keeps high performers working longer and harder. Bias to action. Bias to action is a critical competence for getting regular next step commitments from stakeholders and moving deals moving pipeline. If you can keep that in your mindset, it will really help. How do you develop drive? Action. What you choose to do every day and every moment. Wake up in the morning and action. How do you action before you go to sleep at night? Make your to-do list if you need to. It helps. You wake up knowing what you're going to need to accomplish for that day. You're going to action it. And if you don't get through the whole thing, you carry it over to the next day. As long as it's not a deadline that you need to kind of put up there. How respond people to reactions? Your circumstances interrupt with emotions. Your mindset is your attitude, your beliefs. If you have a positive attitude, you create positive beliefs. It's very difficult for some people, including myself, to get the positive out of the negative. But keep in mind that every situation, whether negative or positive, has a solution. It's just more about how you are looking at the solution. Are you looking at it as a negative light or as a positive light? Manage other people's emotions. I love this bit. Yeah, this for me is very, very important. There are three types of empathy. When you're empathetic towards a person, you feel their pain and their thoughts. Empathy demands you stick around and look for a solution that can reduce the person's suffering, because their suffering is yours as well. You need to have gone through a person's exact circumstances to be empathetic. You can train yourself to view things from other people's perspectives so that you can become more empathetic. A person who masters empathy is well ahead of others when it comes to forming better interpersonal relationships. Seeing things from other people's perspective, ability to share another person's feeling the pain and suffering of others and working towards alleviating it. This is something that you can do with your clients or your customer. Is become aware of them as people. They also go through stuff. It's something that we can all be empathetic towards and create empathy within ourselves, of understanding where they're coming from. It's really, really important to walk into somebody's office and you can see they're down. It just happens. We were on a meeting on Monday for the Sales Institute, and my colleagues picked up that I have been through a difficult thing in my life. And they were so empathetic. It made me feel better for what I've gone through. And it's kind of took a little bit of weight off my shoulders, knowing that there were people out there that really care and that I could chat to about what I'd been through. Because if you can't talk to people about what is happening in your life, then who are you going to talk to? And if you have a good relationship with your customer, you're going to find out things that you never knew about them. And you could have something in common. There could be something in common that you both just know and do. And they remember you for that. So when they need your product or a product similar to you, they're going to pick up that phone and they're going to say, "Hi, John, can you help me with this? Is this something that your company can do?" And you're either going to say yes, and you're going to land a multi-million rand deal, or 100,000 rand deal, or a couple of thousand rand deal. Makes no difference. It is that you are helping somebody else because you have empathy. You understood them. You knew where they were coming from. You had something in common. How do you develop empathy? You listen more than you talk. It's important to take pause and let other people talk, because that is the main avenue through which thoughts, perspectives, and emotions can be communicated. The best kind of listening is what is referred to as active listening. In other words, you must listen in a way that shows you are invested in conversation. Put away all the distractions, your cell phones. There is nothing worse, and it drives me insane. And I know that I let it show when I'm in a meeting with someone and their phone vibrates and they pick it up and look at it. For me, that is instant dismissal. They're dismissing me from the meeting because what is happening on their phone is more important than the conversation that I'm having with them. I put time and effort into this, and 9 times out of 10 say something. I find it rude, and it's not right. And once they're aware of it, you find that they don't do it again, and then you can actually carry on with the conversation. You listen without judging. They are feeling those emotions and thinking those thoughts because the experiences are valid to them. Ask open-ended questions to help them understand the root causes of the trouble. Allow yourself to be invulnerable. It is important that other people see you for the human being that you are. Put your assumptions and judgments aside. Focus on seeing the world as the other person sees it. Empathy is patient. It requires you to shut up about what you know and allow the other person to tell you what they know or think they know. And that doesn't mean that we need to bring out that judgment. It just means that we need to listen. There are times that we just need to keep quiet and listen. You do not need to have gone through labor to know that childbirth can be a very painful experience. You only need to imagine how excruciating it must be to use your body to bring a human being into the world. Tune into the welfare needs of others. Every human being has what they prioritize as their major needs outside of the universal basic needs. When these needs are not met, a person might consider themselves to be undergoing suffering. Being attuned to people's welfare is especially critical in empathetic concern because it is only by knowing what is missing from someone's life that you can be able to replace it. That is really powerful stuff. But it's powerful to develop empathy and understand what other people are going through. And that if they are irritated and snappy, maybe they're going through stuff. And we just need to be a little bit gentle with them and try and see where we can help them, if we can. It doesn't mean that you have to get involved in their story, because we all have stories that we love to suck other people into. It just means listen to their story. That's all it is. Just listen. You don't need to get pulled into it. Manage relationships. What is this all about? It's about how you manage. Sorry, I've lost my slide there. I'm going back to it. Persuasion skills is all about managing relationships. Persuasion is the art of convincing or influencing someone to do a particular thing that they would probably not have done had you not intervened. Before you can influence anybody, it is important to read them correctly so you understand what appeals to them. The way you say the things is critical. Good communication skills are the difference between conveying a message with clarity and getting your message lost in the wording. Good communications tend to be alike in their characteristics. They know that communication is not just about talking, but listening as well. They pay attention to verbal and non-verbal cues, as well both their own and those of the audience. Good communicators are confident and friendly and communicate respectively. Believe it or not, children can be the best at communication. They say what they feel, especially young ones, when they're just learning to talk and go to school. They'll come home and they will tell you, Mom, I had a terrible day. And the tears will usually start flowing, but they're being honest about how they feel. And that's where we kind of need to get as well, is to be honest with ourselves on what are we feeling, why are we feeling it, and how are we feeling it. That will be a huge change. If you are angry, be honest that you're angry. If you are happy, be honest, because it shows in your body language, it shows in your communication, it shows in every aspect of your life. It's almost like coming home after a hard day and seeing your little one running up to you with all this kind of energy and, Mom, Dad, guess what happened to me today? It's taking that time to realize you made that little thing. Give it the 5 minutes or 10 minutes that it needs. It will change everything. It really will. Natural born leaders can read others and appeal to them. At the same time, because they have made this innate capacity for emotional intelligence, they come across as good leaders. Good leaders are usually self-aware and highly motivated. Working on yourself first will get you where you need to be as a leader. You are a leader. Every one of us is a leader. We just need to work on it and decide how we're going to get there. A person who can manage conflict in a positive way will avoid victimizing parties involved in the conflict. Rather, they let the involved parties understand that the objective is to find the solution rather than apportion blame. Good conflict management calls for tact and diplomacy. It's not about getting everyone everything they demand. It is more about getting everyone to a place where they believe their grievances have been heard and resolved. Other ways that EI plays a role in the sales process. Delayed gratification, busy versus productive, fish where the fish are. Plan your work and work your plan. That's where I go back to knowing what you're doing the next day. Deciding what are you going to do? How are you going to action it? What is the best thing that's going to come out of your day? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the components of emotional intelligence. I have a few things. Sorry, I'm going to stop sharing this quickly. I have a few things that I just want to read out, things that I've learned along the way. The map is not the territory. People respond to their map of reality, not to reality itself. How people make sense of the world around them is through their senses and from their own personal experiences. This means that individuals' perception of an event is different. We all have the resources we need, or we can create them. These resources can be internal or external, which is a useful reminder that sometimes believing this enables us to be better empowered in any situation. Mind and body form a linked system. Your mental attitude affects your body and your health, and in turn, how you behave. If what you're doing isn't working, do something else. Flexibility is the key to success. Choice is better than no choice. Having options can provide more opportunities for achieving results. We are always communicating, even when we remain silent. We are communicating. Non-verbal communication can account for a large proportion of a message. So that's it. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending our first webinar. It's been an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you very much, Jean, for organizing it. It's been wonderful.
Thank you, Kerry. Guys, first of all, let me just say thank you to Kerry for putting herself out there for us today. I think there's a lot of stuff we can learn from what Kerry's had to say. I'd like to make you aware of future topics. On the 17th of April, we're going to be talking about the decision equation. What we're trying to do with our choice of topics is to give you something that's, inverted commas, motivational or soft skillish, and some stuff that's scientific and technical. The decision equation is around how well you know your customer and how you help your customer make a buying decision. I urge you all to attend. It is on the 17th. I will have already sent invites out. If you haven't received them, please let me know through the chat. After the decision equation, we're going to be talking about the myths and monsters of sales. That's more about the things we believe, and it's about our belief system, our BS. I would like to remind you all, please, to register and to invite your friends to join us, your friends and your colleagues and your sales management. There is a question that I'd like to ask you, and I'd really appreciate your comment in the chat line, and that is, what time works for you? We want to hold these webinars on a Wednesday in the middle of the week, but you may feel that Mondays work better for you or Fridays work better for you. You may feel that early in the morning works better for you versus midday versus late in the afternoon. So if you could give us your insight, that would be muchly appreciated in the chat line. Just tell us what works. Yes, I have recorded this thing. If you'd like a copy of the recording, please drop your email address into the chat line and we'll send you the recording. We're also inviting through the chat line, and this is an ongoing thing, your thoughts on topics. We don't want to present what we think is important to you. We'd like to present what you think is important to you. So throw your thoughts into the chat line and let's see if we can utilize the team, the alumni, our friends, to drive this conversation. The intent is to have 10 of these a year. So in other words, we're not going to do it in December or January, but we would like your thoughts as to what you'd like to learn. The last point I'd like to make is we're all on a journey here. Sales is not an outcome. You don't do one sales training course and it's done. So if you're interested in growing in your profession and you're not sure what the next step is, feel free to reach out to any one of us. I see Tracy's online, Kerry's online, I'm online. Reach out to us and ask us the question, and we'll set up a telephone conversation. We'll talk to you about a potential next step for you, whether it includes the Sales Institute or not. And with that, thank you so very, very much for being with us today. And I look forward to seeing you all again on the 17th when Tim Keys, our CEO, will be presenting the decision equation. Have a lovely rest of the week and have an awesome weekend, and see you on the 17th. Thanks so much and goodbye.